Hello! We're going to talk about tuning today. One of the things I'm going to show you, and see if you guys all can see that. This is a tuner. Pretty important that y'all go out and get one of these. I think that you can probably get one for about 15-20 bucks. If you're an electric guitar player, most of your pedals nowadays, a lot of your electronics and stuff, they come with a built-in tuner. This is kind of an old tuner, but it allows me to do all kinds of neat stuff. But anyway, you will need a tuner. If you want to use a tuner, if you want to play with other people, it's very important to have one of these so that you can easily get into tune and you can play with other folks and you're all in the same pitch. Now there are some alternative ways of tuning, and I'm going to show you those right now. You have to find a relative note or a reference note. A reference note. Piano. Your E note on the piano. That should be that top string's an E. So if you have a piano at home and you have an E, you can hit that E on the piano, press that key down, and it should be the same sound as this. If it's not, adjust the string with the tuner keys until you get to where you want to be. All right. Once we've got that top string tuned, if we're going to be reference tuning, well, before I move on, you can also get a tuning fork. Like if you go to like Ted Brown's Music, you can get a tuning fork in the key of E. That would do the same thing. You strike that tuning fork, and some people place them on their guitars. Kind of gives you a nice little hum, and then you can just kind of tune to that top string E. Once you've got a reference tune on this, what we call our bottom string, the E string, we're going to go on down the line and tune the rest of our strings. Before we do that, I want to tell you what note each one of these strings is. We will learn in a standard tuning on our guitars, okay? Which means it's standard. Pretty much everybody uses it. Pretty universal. This string right here, the big string is your bottom string. All right, this is your E string. Your next string is an A. The next string is a D. The next string is a G. The next string is a B. And the last string is an E. Once we've gotten that top string, or that bottom string, our E string tuned in reference with whatever else we're going to tune it with, we're going to go to our 5th fret. So on the E string, bottom string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now that string, if you press right there on your 5th fret, that note becomes an A on the E string. The next string on your guitar happens to be an A, so we want those two to sound exactly the same. So using the string I've already tuned to E, I press down on the 5th fret, I pluck it, and then I pluck the other string, and I adjust my next string, my A string, until it sounds like my E string when I depress that 5th fret. Those sound pretty good. I already have this tuned. And I would continue to do the same thing on the next string. Once it's tuned, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets on my A string, and I pluck the A string. It's now becomes a D. So it's D, and the next string of course is a D. That's what I'm trying to get it to anyway. I will adjust it until it sounds just like that. Ooh, what's that? Okay, we press on the 5th fret every string except for one. When you get to your G string, which is E, A, D, G, okay? So once we get to our G string, instead of placing our fingers on that 5th fret right here, we're going to place it on the 4th fret. And that 4th fret gives us a B, which is our second to the last string to tune. they're actually a little bit off. That's a little better. And then 5th fret again on the B string for the last two. And they're pretty close. So let me just give you a reference tone right here. If you don't have a tuner, I'm going to give you a reference note so that you can tune your guitar to this video. And that's our E string. I'll get a little closer here so it tunes real good into the camera. Okay, that should be enough of a reference note. You should be able to tune your guitar. Play it over 1,000 times till you figure it out. So that's one way to reference tune your guitar. There are some other ways to tune your guitar, and I think maybe I'll wait to show you those later. Harmonics is one of those ways. It's very similar to what I showed you. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. But I'm not going to show you that right now. I'm just going to demonstrate it like I did. If you're out of tune, usually you hear a woo, 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 and that's those two notes. That's funny, huh? That's those two notes not quite in sync with each other, and you want to reduce that wave sound until it gets nice and flat when you're harmonically tuning. But I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so now you should be pretty tuned, and the chords that you're learning and the things that you're learning should sound a little bit better than they did before. An out-of-tune guitar can be really frustrating and discouraging because all the stuff you play sounds horrible. And don't be discouraged, because probably everything that you play at the beginning will sound a little bit rough. It'll sound a little bit like this, but eventually it'll sound a little cleaner. Pretty soon it'll all sound like that.